Now let's set the record straight. There's no argument over the choice between peace and war, but there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second: surrender. Admittedly, there's a risk in any course we follow other than this, but every lesson of history tells us that the greater risk lies in appeasement. And this is the specter our well-meaning liberal friends refuse to face, that their policy of accommodation is appeasement. And it gives no choice between peace and war, only between fight or surrender. If we continue to accommodate, continue to back and retreat, eventually we have to face the final demand, the ultimatum. And what then? When Nikita Khrushchev has told his people, he knows what our answer will be. He has told them that we're retreating under the pressure of the Cold War, and someday, when the time comes to deliver the final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary, because by that time, we will have been weakened from within spiritually, morally, and economically. He believes this because from our side he's heard voices pleading for peace at any price, or better read than death, or as one commentator put it, he'd rather live on his knees than die on his feet. And therein lies the road to war, because those voices don't speak for the rest of us. You and I know and do not believe that life is so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery. If nothing in life is worth dying for, when did this begin? Just in the face of this enemy? Or should Moses have told the children of Israel to live in slavery under the Pharaohs? Should Christ have refused the cross? Should the patriots at Concord Bridge have thrown down their guns and refused to fire the shot heard round the world? The martyrs of history were not fools, and our honored dead who gave their lives to stop the advance of the Nazis didn't die in vain. Where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay, there is a point beyond which they must not advance. Winston Churchill said the destiny of man is not measured by material computations. When great forces are on the move in the world, we learn they're spirits, not animals. And he said there's something going on in time and space and beyond time and space, which, whether we like it or not, spells duty. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
Welcome back to the Logbook podcast. I'm Kim. And
I'm Dakota. And here with us we have Kim.
Hello.
KDK kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, we started
Could
off
we
last
find
week.
one more?
God, that's just going to sound bad.
Or a Tim. Or a Jim.
No. Kim, and Kim. Like the Three Musketeers?
All right, so much is going through our head, but we got stuff to do. All right.
No, just say it. KKK.
God.
That's what I was thinking. You know, when I was growing up, there was everyone knew to stay away up in between Dickinson and Alvin, the quick car care. KKK.
I'm sorry. That'd be about as good as the fact that I was born and raised in Vidor.
Well, tonight we are going to continue on with the Morgan Lutrell Town Hall and what happened there. And this was his last town hall on May. What was it? The 4th, May 4th.
May 4th, yeah.
Of this month. However, this was, you could actually feel the tension in the room during this meeting because everyone was concerned about Title 42, and right now, Title 42 is done with. And we've actually seen Morgan Lutrell recently take on in the House, and we'll show those videos a bit later of what he's doing actively about Title 42 as well. So I guess, do you want to go ahead and get into it, Kim?
Sure. Let's go.
Let's
go down the rabbit hole.
Pick up where we left off last time.
Last Saturday, I was in Cold Spring in San Jacinto County. I believe I saw you.
You did not.
You all know you weren't there. Okay. So we got word that an illegal alien who had been ejected from the country several times, killed 5 people. And he was on a several-day manhunt and finally caught him in Montgomery County. No. Yes. What I learned about that is that around Cleveland and in that area, the cartels have bought a bunch of land and they're selling plots to illegal aliens. First they're transported up there, then they pay them for the land so they can build a little shack. And there's a colony, La Colonia, of 50,000 illegal aliens in that area. True. And they keep leaving this border open. There are going to be colonias all over this United States. In all kinds of, and they're putting them into places that are not very populated. It's something that it's a national, that's a scandal, and the main media, they're not talking about it. And the administration is promoting it.
It's in Liberty. That's in Cleveland.
Yeah.
That's true. That's happened. And he did get caught in Montgomery County. He was taken back to San Jacinto.
And his wife's
Which
in Montgomery County
he's
jail.
probably happier that we didn't keep him in Montgomery County.
His wife's here.
Like here in the room with us.
No, she's in Montgomery County jail.
Which one?
It was just that. How many people have to die at the hands of these illegal immigrants before we do something about it?
I understand.
About 7,000 a year.
I mean, come on.
The fentanyl deaths, the murders. We had a family in the hearing with us that illegal running with a carload of flow slammed into a car, killed a grandmother and a 7-year-old daughter. And they were in the hearing with us, and after the fact, we met in a little antechamber. I had the 2 mothers from our district that lost their babies, and the mother of that 7-year-old daughter sitting right in front of Mayorkas. He said, I want you to see something. He had a video. And I was standing right behind Mayorkas when this happened, and she had a video of that baby girl laying on the gurney dying. Put it right in his face. It was.
I mean,
I can't tell you why they don't enact the policy. I can't. I wish I could. I asked in exhaustion, in nausea. I go after them.
I mean, you get deported 4 times and your sneaky little butt makes it back over here. Now you kill 5 people and all you're doing is sitting in jail. Or if they want to run into somebody's porch with a truck that says February 30th of the year, which anybody with any common sense knows February 30th does not exist. They run through the front porch, kill 2 kids, and the cops gonna write them a ticket in the name that they give them. Come on. Fort Worth is a sanctuary city. Come on.
I got you. I'm tracking 100% what you're saying. Hang on, careful there. I'll come back. Yes, ma'am.
So I'd like to follow up that topic by asking.
Which one? She jumped on me.
Yeah, I know. About the topic of the colonia.
Yes.
I had seen a report about it a year ago. And at that time, I was troubled by the fact that these shanties were being built without any kind of correct code application, engineering, safe water. Why cannot Congress turn off the money to all these alphabet soup agencies that make our lives miserable by applying regulations to us that they're not applying to the colonia in the neighboring county?
We are moving to do that in October when that budget comes across.
Okay.
It's and actually in Homeland we were really at each other's throats about the nonprofit organization. So here's where we get beat up. Okay. There's a lot of nonprofits, Catholic churches that are assisting migrant illegal immigrants from coming across. They're doing it, and you know, by the grace of their heart, I got it. You know, and I respect the fact that the Lord's led them on the path to do that. Okay. But they receive federal funding for it. And we struck it. Good. And
So that's something that I have a problem with. Okay. Why is a church receiving federal funding for immigration?
That I I wish I knew the answer to that one.
Right. But here's the thing is that, again, if you're a church and you're in America, don't you think you should be funding things for veterans at this point?
I think you should be funding better things than illegal immigration.
Yeah.
That's for darn sure.
It's like your ministry where the church is, that's your ministry. That's your home. Okay. That's your, that grow where you're planted. That's where you are. That's just
Exactly.
common sense. So you're setting up a base here, and this is the politic that has evolved with the Catholic Church, is that they're looking at, new members, new people. If we sit there and we house these people, that means they're going to come to our organization, and then we put their money in there because these Americans aren't going to do it.
And here's like the big hypocrisy with it is everybody wants to preach about the separation of church and state, which is not in the Constitution anyway. But they want to preach on this like it is, and they want to keep church influence out of the government, but they got no problem putting the government influence in the church.
Exactly. It's a complete double standard. And the fact is that the church estate was from the Danbury Baptist letters. There's 5 letters. Five letters. That's it. And I don't understand why people are so uneducated, so inept to actually, we have Google now, people. Google it. It's ridiculous at the fact that you don't know what separation between church and state is. It's there to protect our religious freedoms from the government, not vice versa, not protect the government from religious liberties. That's exactly what it's for.
Well, now we got the churches wanting to fund the illegal immigrants, and we got our state senators wanting to put the 10 Commandments on the wall in the school and have prayer all day long.
Well, I can see that I'm okay with that. Actually, I know we might not agree on this, but I'm okay with a moral code being put into schools because our founding fathers knew, and that's why we were founded on religion, is that morality is inspired into a man. That's why Churchill says, in our opening, we learn that we are spirits, not animals.
Right.
Laws do not make someone moral. Morality is inspired, and that's why you need to be founded upon a religious aspect, which religions are what inspire morality. But the fact is that I don't understand why people don't know that. They just think, the law is the law. Bitch, if people respected the law, a sign for no guns would be respected. So quit your bullshit.
Well, I don't mind there being religion in church. I don't mind that, having something up on the wall. I don't mind the prayer. But if you go to our state constitution, it says that you must be able to pray for all.
Yeah.
That means they'd have to sit there all day long trying to pray for all because not all fall under one sect.
Well, here's the thing. I worship Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yes.
There is a general word for that, and it's called God.
I know that one too.
So here's the thing. God bless you all. Done. Amen. Gotcha. I just prayed for everybody. There you go. I mean, I believe what it is I think everyone is micromanaging everything. I mean, even this, when Morgan gets up there, almost every town hall, I know we missed it this time because we were running late. I know that, guys. Y'all can jump on our asses for that. We were late. We weren't even 15 minutes fucking early. We were that late.
I was there.
I know.
Thanks, Kim, for being there for us. But no, this actually this worries me quite a bit because the thing is, we're supposed to have these religious freedoms, this freedom to practice whatever religion we have, whatever God we choose, right? So whenever you start having federal dollars influencing a religious institution, what's gonna stop them from funding that church? Let's say, they come into the church and say you have to preach this message or you're not going to get funding anymore. That's why it doesn't work that
All
way.
right, I'm gonna let y'all know
It's
the
like
truth.
it's like buying a commercial at the Super Bowl.
Right.
The reason they're funding the Catholic Church in particular, is I believe, is that way when Joe Biden visits the Pope next time, we have some high velocity underwear so he doesn't shit himself again.
Well, if he wants high velocity underwear, he should be a Mormon.
That
Just-
is why they're
No,
funding the Catholic Church.
He needs the high velocity underwear because then that way he won't have to say someone wiped his butt.
Right. Next time he visits the Pope. That's it. That's exactly what's happening.
Because he did go across the White House lawn and say, "My butt's been wiped."
You remember when he shit himself when he met the Pope, though, right?
I remember when he leaned over to pick up a dandelion for First Lady Biden and farted.
Sharded
everywhere.
Oh my God.
All you heard was rip.
Okay, that's the only reason that I can think of that's really relevant to fund the Catholic Church.
But on that town hall meeting, as my comment about them driving through the front porch, that was my niece's front porch that they drove through in an SUV that was tagged with a paper tag for February 30th of that year.
Wow.
And came very close to plowing them. Had they not crawled across the waterbed and laid up against the wall with the hopes that the waterbed didn't come into them, they would have both been dead today.
Absolutely.
And all the cops did was write them a ticket in the name they gave them. They didn't even ask them if they had a driver's license, didn't ask them for their insurance, didn't ask them for anything. They lived across the street. There was 18 of them in a 3-bedroom home. They were digging holes in the backyard to relieve themselves because they did not have the common train of thought for what the bathroom was for.
I was thinking, at least that's more efficient. We need to look into this as a military. That's more efficient.
Yeah, I mean, six to a room, that's nothing. You've been on a ship in the Navy? I shared a room with 80 dudes. So
but they were also digging
3
holes
showers
in the backyard to relieve themselves because they had no clue what a bathroom was meant for.
Oh no, they
know. They just don't. They're squatting. They don't have running water, so
yeah.
It's better to shit outside than let that smell up the house.
Fertilizer.
Notice there was no growing plants around the house.
But I tell you what, these green people, these woke environmentalists must be happy because at least they're not wasting resources and giving back to Mother Nature. But however, doesn't that help, with the greenhouse gas situation?
I don't think so. They're breathing too much.
I could go on. I don't know. It's just getting wrong right now. All right, let's continue this.
I'm blessed down here, I can vote that way. But the other side just jumped all over. I've got colleagues in New York City and big cities where all those Catholic churches are. We have Catholic churches here, and I'm sure there's Catholics in this room. So imagine if we're taking funding away from the Catholic Church. And the reason we did it, and we wrote the bill so the language stated you can help anybody you want, you can't use federal dollars. Okay, but that's not the narrative that was put out. It was the Republican Party's taking money away from the Catholic Church. That's one of those things you hear on TV, but it's completely different in reality and what we're fighting for. But yes, ma'am. So that's on the agenda come October. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The problem is right now, as of this weekend, we just heard Gina Rodriguez before everybody last week on Wednesday, and that's where Swalwell was more concerned about her January 6th location. Gina's a very good friend of mine, But that meeting did not go so well. The ranchers are armed, and they are headed out this weekend. They're leaving from Houston today, and they're going to take 1.5 miles of the border, and they're gonna take the stand this weekend. And the thing is that our government is going to stand against them. And that's not fair, and these are the ranchers that I've seen it, I went there on the border. We walked across in Eagle Pass, and he had found 22 bodies on his property, and he's still finding bodies every day. They're scared.
I've been right there.
I know, but they're gonna take the stance there, and they're just gonna be hanged by their country for it.
All right, hang on. Don't fast forward the
I
tape.
know.
I got, okay. I respect the fact that they're defending their state and their land. Right? I respect that 100%. One thing I'll never do is deflect. One thing I'll never do is answer a question with a question. And one thing I'll never do is lie to you.
We need to get back with
And
them.
it's my, no, I'm gonna answer your question right now. It is my opinion that if they wanna go down there and defend their state because they think that that's their right and their ambition to do that, go do it. Anytime you do something like that, you will reap the consequences no matter what. Because if it's in law and you break it, I can't do anything about it. Okay? You
Section 18.
understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, I would never, who knows? I might have been the one going down there to do the same thing. And if I got into a gunfight, that's on me. Every time I pulled the trigger, anywhere I was, it's on me.
Yes, sir.
Nobody else. And if they choose to do that, and they don't do it correctly, I nothing I can do. Nothing.
But Evans sending 1,500 active duty soldiers down there to do nothing but paperwork.
Process. That's in order to move the agents themselves to the processing back on the line.
Yeah.
So 1,500 processors are going down. Right now, our border agents sit in the processing centers offline and do all the paperwork. So the 1,500 going in are to relieve agents so they can go out and do the job.
Well, yeah, but then you get the guy.
Let me address what. So I'm going to address my comment and my question on what, not even it was a comment with a question. Let's be real with it, because I don't. You've heard me sit here. I don't really like people to just sit there and talk at. Congressman, please come with a question. But, you know, I do also understand that people come there because they're frustrated. They're at their last view and they need some assurance. So never mind for what I said. I just believe in free speech at this point. But yes, we do have people there at the border. I know Lieutenant Colonel Pete Chambers is there at the border. Wyatt Watson is there at the border right now. Dakota will be pulling up that video here shortly on Facebook. If y'all want to see what's going on at the border, please, again, you can go to Frank Lopez Jr., Texas Border Patriot. You'll see what's going on from there. Frank speaks Spanish. You will see him actually interview a lot of the illegals as they cross the border. And it's alarming in the fact that most of the time they interview them, they are not there for asylum. And what they do is they say one thing in front of CBP, and then they'll say another to an actual
Border Patrol.
CBP is Border Patrol, but they'll say something to an individual that's completely different.
Someone like Frank Lopez Jr.
Yeah, because they'll drop the guard down. They're like, oh, you speak Spanish, so you must be for us. And that is a lot of the assumption on the border. If they see that you're Mexican or Hispanic or something like that, heck, I'm actually sometimes people think that I'm part Spanish, and they'll just come up to me and start speaking Spanish. And I'm like, burrito, taco, fajita. That's it. I mean, guys, the only Spanish I know, I'll be honest with you, is the taco.
No se habla español.
Yeah, but come to me with an Asian restaurant and I got you.
So you can go find me an egg roll.
Yeah. Just fortune cookies are American. I know. You were born today, motherfuckers. Finding that out. I was actually creating in San Francisco. But hey, did you find any of those videos of Wyatt Watson?
Not yet of Wyatt Watson.
Yeah.
What we have here. But yeah, I'll get those pulled up here shortly.
Confucius say this whole border thing is confusing.
Yeah, we do have some updates for you guys on what's going on at Eagle Pass. Lieutenant Colonel Pete Chambers, God bless these men. God bless these patriots. You know, I do know this is that everyone's worried. We talked about last night that the VA sent a mobile unit down to the border. And even our Republicans approved of that. And it's, what about the mental? And they're saying, oh, we're doing it in the name of mental health for our soldiers, for our guardsmen out there, you know, and civilian or non-civilian. That's why the VA unit's there. But no one is addressing, I'm sorry, if you are a rancher and you find 22 freaking dead bodies on your property, is anyone talking about the mental health of your freaking children at that point? No, but you're going to send the VA there? And I guarantee you, the fact that they put in that clause for non-civilians, you know that they're freaking treating Americans. Mm-hmm. All right. Hey, let me help you out. Scroll up. Mm-hmm.
Well, all you have to do is go to the bus station downtown Houston. They're bringing them in by the busload.
Yep, they are. They are.
Yeah. When their detention centers hit 125%, they have to send buses out, and they're sending them to Houston.
Yep. So here we go. Here's the latest update from Wyatt Watson on the border right now. So he's pulling it up right now. Okay.
Good evening, folks. Sorry, I'm having to use a flashlight for light here. Our electricity's out here. Got a major storm. You know, we serve an awesome God. Many of you have heard me over the last couple of weeks saying, pray for rain. Well, here it is. And if you look at the map, it's following the Rio Grande. You know, it had every indication of being a really bad time here. We turned back 62 last night. Funny thing, there was a couple of guys in boats. They were making just enough noise where I think they knew we would follow them, see where they were going. But because I've been here as long as I have, something told me that they were a distraction for something else. So we left one of our guys behind to watch the river. And
so,
well, it's raining there, it's raining here, and
yep.
I guess you're fixing to get it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
that was right there. I must have lost that was actually that was pretty recent of a video up there. So he gets it, but do you really get it? You know, that's what Congress, do you really get it? If it takes them at the point where Americans have to go defend their own private property from something that the federal government should be handling, do you really fucking get it? Seems like to me you don't. Title 42 ended, and there was nothing put in place beforehand. You had time. You knew the expiration date. And I get it that Morgan's a new congressman. Now, he had nothing to do with it because he wasn't there yet.
Biden had no intentions of putting anything in its place. Biden wants those immigrants in sanctuary cities.
Right. And if you look at where it's coming, they're coming to the closest border towns, which is Houston, San Antonio, and Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth. I believe they're actually sending them up like as far as, are they going to put it near El Paso, Amarillo area? I don't know. haven't heard about that. But
But it's still the point. The Democrats think that if they put them in these sanctuary cities, then they will figure out a way to get them where they can vote. And then because the Democrats put them in sanctuary cities, that they will in turn vote for them.
right, and that's why we have so many bills in the Texas House right now to actually combat this fraud for election. I mean, we just lost Mr. Alan Vera. He was getting ready to testify on the election fraud that we've even seen here in Houston. And he died right there on the House floor.
Yeah.
The 10,000 votes that turned up like Lucky Charms. They just magically appeared.
So all of the voting centers here, they magically ran out of paper. They didn't open in time. And then they didn't drop off the paper to the right locations. We actually had cops, not election handlers, transporting ballots. And even still, the election results should be public record. They're not.
Right. Now, what's even more insane, when these places, these voting centers ran out of paper, they had one person delivering paper to these ballot centers. Okay. And one was in the Humble region of Houston, the Katy region of Houston, and the Clear Lake region of Houston. Now, for those of you that don't live in Houston, that is a distance of about 120 miles driving. Okay. This happened around 4 o'clock at the height of rush hour traffic. That is a 3-hour drive.
There's no excuses. He should have done it, Dakota.
That was done because
I mean, he should be able to transport through walls and get us paper.
The Republicans were coming out to vote, and the Democrats were trying to do all their votes by mail-in. And they were trying to obstruct the Republican vote.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Because they made it very clear that the Republicans came out to vote, and the Democrats spent all their time doing it by mail-in.
Yeah, I remember there was a thing going on during the election too. Republicans vote the day of, and they were countering that. And so what did the Republicans do? Vote the day of. And you know what I did? I did not vote the day of. Because I was like, that's the day they're going to do it.
Vote the day of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But of course.
I don't know. I don't follow crowds very well.
No. The thing is, you're broadcasting your plans to the people that are trying to go against you. Okay.
Yeah, like they act like there's no spies in the mess.
That doesn't make any sense. It's like, hey, they're all going to go vote the day of. That makes it super easy for us to screw them up.
So which
Not only are all the
say
voting
to
centers
jump
going to
off
be
the bridge
crowded.
first?
Thing is, all the voting centers are going to be crowded. We could just tell them they ran out of paper.
Like
Oh,
you
look,
didn't
we
see
have
that
no way for you
coming.
people to vote. Go home.
That's what I don't understand about conservatives or Republicans. It's like, how do you not see this shit coming?
Wait, I don't have to worry about it. I brought my own ballot.
That's exactly how it works. Oh my God.
You ran out of paper? I brought my own.
Like,
Here, let me
filled
spell it out
too.
for you.
And it's done with black and blue ink, so it's official.
I brought all my friends too. Don't worry.
I brought my black pen, I brought my blue pen, and I brought my piece of paper. And here's my ID. I can really vote. I promise I'm not the dead guy 3 cemeteries down the road. Lane 4, aisle 2.
all these ballots for these people that can't speak English either. I'm just trying to do my part to help them out.
Yeah, equity and inclusion voting.
Right? My white English privilege. All right, let's keep going.
Deported 4 times, that comes back. I mean, you don't get a clue the first time.
Answer for you, Kimberly. I mean, we can talk in circles. But I agree with what you're saying.
Build an electric fence, put an anklet on him. When he gets near the fence, zap! I'm pretty sure he won't come across but once.
Texas also doesn't have a law
Yes, sir.
against
Hi, Dale, and I just want to say, first of all, thank you very much for your service.
Put it around his neck.
And especially to our Gold Star mom. Thank you very much for all you do. I have just a kind of a real quick here is, whatever happened with the SCOTUS leak? Now, I know you have 4 different fights, but I think some of us may feel that the Supreme Court is kind of the last bastion we have.
I can hear what you said.
The SCOTUS leak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you know, if they start destroying the Supreme Court, they being the left.
Yeah.
It seems like they just disappeared. So that was one thing, if you could mention, and then also, and again, I know you got 40 different fights up there from all different directions. As big as the open border problem, we've kind of addressed tonight too, the open bank account problem. Ultimately, all political authority rests with we the people, and I honestly thank you for going up there and being our voice. But to me, that's a bigger problem. You know, my daughters, I live in Conroe, and I've got a farm out here in Huntsville. And both my daughters said, Dad, will I have the opportunities in life you had? You know how painful it is to look at my daughter and say, no, you won't. You will not have the opportunities I had. So here's my question. What can we do to help you fight up there? And I know there's a bunch of 435 of y'all, and you can't speak for other districts, but what can we do to help Morgan Lutrell be our voice?
You're doing what you're doing right now. You're keeping me informed, you're holding me accountable, and you're giving me information that I need to dig into. And I will bring that right back to you.
Okay, thank you.
I love when he does this. I absolutely love it. I have yet to hear. Have you ever heard Ted Cruz say, hold me accountable?
Never heard anybody say that.
Have you ever heard Biden say, hold me accountable?
Well, Biden needs someone to hold his damn hand. Or how can we be expected to be held accountable?
Wait, he needs a handler to remind him that it's not President Harris.
You know, I will say this. I think we got a little bit of presidential material coming here in Morgan.
One can only hope.
I hope so too, but at that point, are we too late?
I say Morgan came around just in time to be president of Texas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's our best bet.
Yep. I tell you, you know, your
I have
job.
my co-sponsor.
Your job is to hold me accountable. Gosh, I want a t-shirt. I want a t-shirt of that.
Big old smiling Morgan face. Hold me accountable.
Your job is to hold me accountable. God, is that not even but believe it or not, we do. We're in his office all the time.
Thank God I am a people person.
Yeah.
In his office all the time. And as you can see, we're always there with the camera.
You know, if you guys have anything that you want us to check up on, if you have any questions, please contact us at the Logbook. If you want to talk to me, Kim, or Kim number 2, or Dakota, let us know. And we will we will get those messages to you so we can, whoever you're comfortable with, and maybe we'll ask those questions for you. We have actually asked those questions before. I know that some of you have reached out, and I did ask your questions to Morgan Lutrell, and I did pass over your contact information to him. So hopefully things are happening and moving for you. So keep going.
Yep.
I know my comment about that.
I don't have any information on the SCOTUS league.
What?
I've been doing my first classified briefing, and the individual that was in there said it's going to be on Fox News.
What'd you say?
I know my comment about the anklet wasn't exactly right, but darn, they would have only done it once. When I said put an anklet on them, put that wire fence up, and when they go near it, zap. They only do it once.
Yep. All right, we're going back into it.
Turn on TV.
I walked into a skip, and that's what they said to me. I'm like, well, what's the point? That's another thing. A lot of times when you see information blurbs about certain things like spy balloon, Chinese balloon.
Oh, there's another one.
You were hearing the same thing that I was.
There's another one. Haven't shot it down yet.
Somebody else, I saw it. Yes, ma'am.
There's another one. They haven't shot it down yet.
Go ahead.
Why are women's asking Republicans about the gun issues? You know,
Please don't sit on me.
Democrats and Republicans
The Republicans want the gun
Yes,
control.
ma'am.
The Democrats say no, or maybe vice versa.
No, that's correct. That's very correct.
Yeah. So why can't they do something with what's going on?
The question is, why are Republicans and Democrats so diversely separated or separated on one side or the other when it comes to guns and gun rights? Fair enough? I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a Second Amendment guy in my bones. I'm a former gunfighter. And I will never move on any legislation that ever even in any way touches the Second Amendment. And I'll go to the ground with anybody who wants to have that debate with me, because I always say, you cannot blame a 6 to 8 pound inanimate object made of metal, gunpowder, and plastic. It is an individual's responsibility that pulls it up. And my colleagues on the other side, and I have cordial conversations with them. I have conversations with my colleagues on the side that hunt and fish. And we can talk guns. And we do. And I mean in detail. And it's impressive what they know. What you're seeing, that's one of the issues that will never come together. Now, I don't think that it will. I should probably say, I won't say never, but I don't think that it will. It's just that way now. It's that Democratic Republican machine where there's these topics that there's no middle ground on. Okay? And it is such a leverage point for either party. If you know, one of those atrocities happens at school or at a Walmart and somebody's carrying a weapon system, hey, if you vote a Democrat in, those weapon systems are going to go away. If you vote a Republican in, they won't. And that's where we are. And it's frustrating. It is. And I understand, when I talk to my colleagues, I understand, they'll talk to me with their perspective. And I get it. I do. But when I always circle back with them, I was like, hey, look, it starts in the house. When I was old enough to walk, my daddy, I knew exactly what a gun was. I knew exactly what a gun to do, and I knew exactly how much to go. My 6 to 10-year-old was saying they've known that the whole life. And I think that's where we're, and you can get into mental health.
That was loud.
There's a lot of intangibles that go into it. But that's my stance on it, and that's how it's playing out there. Thank you, though.
One more question,
Yes, sir.
First of all, thank you for protecting our gun rights.
Yes, sir.
I'm just like you, God, country, freedom, you know. But on the topic of Ukraine, so that's something I've done extensive research on.
We talked about this before.
We did at the town hall.
Yeah.
But what do you think that Vladimir Putin was compelled to invade Ukraine? And how do you see it ending?
So why do I think Vladimir, thank you, sir. Tell me your first name again.
Jeff.
Jeff, okay. Why was Putin compelled to take Ukraine, and
How do you see it ending?
how do I see it ending?
It's an important topic.
Yeah, no, I got it.
I'll give you a minute to think.
No, I got it.
So much.
So you did your homework in Ukraine. You understand the political side of it, right there on the eastern side, where they were more politically on the eastern side of Ukraine. They were more politically aligned with Russia. So Putin used that as hey, I want to reunite the USSR. He already had annexed Crimea, so he's going to take the eastern side of the country and make that whole again. Now, I always thought once the posturing started on the border that he was going to move all the way to the river, take as far as he could, and then stop and say, I just want this. But he kept going. And now he's in where, again, now we're talking tactics, we're talking strategic, operational, and tactical military, okay? I think that he underestimated the support and the effort itself out of Ukraine. I think that his background, his personality, narcissistic, socialist, just a predator, for lack of a better term, okay? That has not lost his entire life, all the way from his humble beginnings in politics to the KGB to where he is now. So I think he's activating the country in a way, because what we hear about what's going on in Russia and Ukraine is not what the Russians hear at all. Don't ever think that. And I think that the country has rallied behind him enough that he's going to continue to move forward. Now, what is the end game? Either he'll never take it. I don't think globally we will allow that. I don't think he is too scared to say for Mother Russia and push the button. I don't think that at all. I think he would do that, or the oligarchs would kill him.
So you mentioned, he annexed Crimea. He's kind of securing that Donbass region.
Yeah.
But I think what people don't understand is the why.
The why?
Why it's happening. Why is he doing what he's doing?
I've never got a let me hear it, because it's different whomever you're talking to. No, and I'm talking about, all right, hang on, bring it back to center real quick, go ahead.
If you just go back to 2014, the coup that happened in Ukraine, Victoria Nuland, the CIA, it's kind of this coup that happened to oust the duly elected president of Ukraine. And that happened, he had to flee the country. And there's recorded phone calls from Victoria Nuland. We have our hands all dabbling in Ukraine to have our Western influence there. And we succeeded. And we got the Western-backed president in Ukraine, but it was done in a coup. That's not a democracy, and it's not a legitimate president. And so all the ethnic Russians down in the Donbass region are like, he's against us. So those people become like the new Jews. And in the Ukrainian government, I've seen the documentation, the videos, the historical, everything on it. The Ukrainian government attacked those people with their military. These are just facts. I mean, uncomfortable facts, but basically started a genocide on ethnic Russians in Ukraine. And we're arming Ukraine to do that. We created one hell of a big problem for Putin on his border. And I guess what I'm saying is what we have done to him, we would never in a million years allow to happen here. Never. And so it's not what everybody thinks. And there's so much, if you listen to the mainstream media, you'll hear one narrative and one narrative only. And it's 99% anti-Putin, where he's actually not what everybody thinks.
He threatened us with nuclear weapons.
Here's the thing, is we are so far going to this proxy war to ultimately regime change him, which we do all over the world.
I've been there.
And it's not going to end well.
Never does.
And you have a voice, but you have to know kind of the historical facts of how we got here and why we're not always the good guys. And I can go down the rabbit hole on this one. I could love to go down the rabbit hole with you on this one sometime. I'll come to Washington.
You don't have to drive all the way up there.
A cafe, wherever. I look at this like 3 or 4 hours every single day. I see all the raw videos on Telegram. I see the politics in Russia, Ukraine, U.S. It's not what everybody thinks.
It never is.
It could
on both
end
sides.
badly.
Yes, sir.
I know you're fixing to get out of here. I'm letting you know Washington County appreciates you.
I was very loaded. I've seen at many town halls before. This one was intense.
Yeah.
Again, more people are just more and more fed up. I know Morgan, to even face that crowd of, they're not angry at him, they're angry at what's going on, but yet we have to take it out on him. What a strong person.
Mm-hmm. I think this guy, at every town hall, there's always someone asking about what's going on in Ukraine. This guy is probably the most in-depth and most well-researched on what is happening in Ukraine?
I think he needs to go further back.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. You need to go back to the 90s. You need to go back again with Clinton. You need to go back to the Bushes where Ukraine is concerned. Okay, we signed that treaty saying, Ukraine, give up your nukes and we'll send you protection. Okay, we need to stop giving open these loophole opportunities for these dirty Democrats to start these proxy wars so they can move in and get into these treaties so they can move in, do their experiments on people. It's kind of like what they did with the Zambia. Okay, stop it. Stop that. This doesn't look good for America. America is too busy going to work, putting food on the table to pay attention to what's going on in these world politics.
Right. And this is happening. I wouldn't say this is the first instance that this has happened where we've actually been involved in another country's affairs. I mean, weren't we involved in Venezuela for quite a bit of it?
I have not looked into Venezuela, so I cannot speak on Venezuela. Yeah. But where as far as Ukraine is, if you actually sit there and looked at the voting records, if you go onto like the southeast of Ukraine, they're Russian loyalists, okay? The only freaking, I would say, conservative, extreme right-wing, not even conservative, plants were only in the north. They are already, and we're already at a pre-Civil War stage. And you can actually look because the ambassadors were actually turning that over to the State Department, their voting records. So my thing is the coup was already politically, ideologically going on. The people were already split in Ukraine. They know what's going on. We don't. And again, it's because of that document in the 1990s where we promised to aid Ukraine. And the fact is we have to keep our promises, but because we did not set a cap to that, there's nothing we can do. And shame on you, Bush. Bush is an opportunist. I'm going to sit here and call out how it is. I support legislation for veterans. I don't support the person. But right now, I like Morgan and where he's going, so I'm going to support him for now. And he told me that I could do that, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to keep him accountable.
Mm-hmm. But of course, that's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
That's why we had to have the Republicans come in, period. Otherwise, the Democrats would have run away with the country.
Right. So I think this guy is knowledgeable on Ukraine, but I think I agree with what he's talking about. I did know about the coup and the politics and the overthrow of it. That was every time it's like that election was totally rigged because if you look at their voting processes beforehand. Okay, everyone's worried. Oh, the ports of Ukraine. Doesn't matter. The people of Ukraine, the people there near the ports of Ukraine were actually Putin sympathizers. They wanted that ideology of Mother Russia, anyways. They voted on it beforehand. So again, let people have if they want to choose with the what they agree with the Mother Russia thing. Let them do it.
Yeah. Let people govern themselves.
I don't care. I care about here what's in my backyard. Okay? That's it.
I care about what's good for the people, not what's good for the politician.
Exactly. And if you look at the targets of what Putin is blowing up, he's blowing up the stupid freaking labs that America has interfered with or NATO. It's not a war between people of me, big Putin, big dick, like you believe. No, it's sensible. You have someone with socialist ties, a socialist government, and what are you going to do? You're going to sit there and you're going to sit there and arm Ukraine, which Trump did, and then you're going to talk about NATO sitting there, being on your border. Excuse me? I would have a problem with that. Then on top of that, you're not going to even negotiate that. Heck no, that would be sitting there saying, hey, I have a freaking China sitting there running a slave labor camp here in America behind my house. You're damn straight I'm going to have a fucking problem with it.
Or how about those 3,000 plus, now it's up to 4,500 driver's license that were stolen by a Chinese outfit? And they had them all mailed to the same address.
Yeah, like we're not even surprised at that point.
And the DMV never caught on to it.
You can't trust the government to govern itself. Okay? You have to have accountability. And the fact is, you can't have the government sit there and hold themselves accountable either.
Because they won't do it.
They won't do it.
No.
When they're left alone, they'll run off and play like a kid in a candy store.
And that's one thing I'll have to say. Conspiracy theorists can't handle that. They think everything is such a plan. No. The government, the people that work in the government, a lot of them are stupid. So here's the thing. They are not complex enough on some of these conspiracy theories to carry that shit out. What they do is they cover it up because they are that stupid. It's stupid curing stupid.
You don't have to be smart to work in the government.
No.
Example, Joe Biden is president.
There you go. And stupid people voted for him.
Yes.
There you go. Oh, let's move on. Good God.
I came in, we started like 3 minutes late, so I've got one more question.
He is the boss.
Oh, what's the matter? You tired?
This is our 6th event today, but no, it's not true.
I had to ask him that. I couldn't help it.
What do you make of the videos fighter pilots are seeing Tic Tacs unidentified?
UFOs. Tic Tacs in the sky.
Tic Tacs in the sky.
Area 51, you know.
I mean, is that something?
The little green gun.
Secret project? Is that somebody else's or something?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Battleship in the sky.
I wish, you know, if Rick Perry would have become president, our first trip was the 51-seat aliens. I'm never gonna run for president, so I don't have any answer for you.
I don't know if I trusted him to make that trip. He put up them solar panels that might believe
Did
they
you go
didn't
outside
connect
for
them. No, sir, I can't drink that stuff.
All right, what you got?
It's interesting. You were talking earlier about the vote for McCarthy, how it went 15 times. But when it was all settled and he had won, he's standing in the chamber there talking with Marjorie Taylor Greene. And you're sitting down right behind him. And she said something to him. And you went, your eyes just rolled on TV like no one ever. What did they say? What did they say?
We'll pull up the video for you.
Yeah.
Can't take it back.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, look, I've come to the realization that no matter what I do, somebody's videoing it.
Hey, Morgan. How you doing?
How many hours of me do you have on that phone?
No, I got a hard drive back in the house.
I don't really remember that
How
particular
many
time.
hours maybe you have
But
on
what
that
I
phone?
did kind of activate on was when you guys saw this play out when Mr. Rogers came in, Mr. Gates.
Yeah.
I was sitting on that aisle trying to get, because Miss Bogert was sitting there and there was another young lady sitting there and there was two guys, looked like they were fixing to get down right there with the lady, and I don't stand for that. But I don't remember, there's so many of those moments, who knows? Hey, thank y'all for coming out, I really appreciate it.
Well, that was it at the town hall. I think that was the best question to end on. I remember talking with Miss Holly, and she absolutely loved that we Dakota popping out saying, "Hey, Morgan," behind the video.
Everywhere we go, somebody's got a video of me. Hey, Morgan. How many hours you got? I got a hard drive back at the house.
That does sound a bit creepy, doesn't it? Well, it's there to hold you accountable, Morgan, and we love you for it.
Hold you accountable, yes.
I print off screenshots and put them on my Luttrell shrine. I photoshopped the beards off.
He's not creepy, he's just stalkish.
Well, I have some updates from Morgan Lutrell as well. If y'all would, I'm going to give a huge shout out to Morgan. Guys, go check out his social media pages. He's very transparent on that. If you would like to talk with, if you are in our district, please, if you need to contact Morgan Lutrell, give us a shout out and we'll put you in contact with them. However, you can just,
especially his Wednesdays whiteboards.
Yeah, check out his whiteboard Wednesday whiteboards on his Facebook page. He will definitely keep you updated to what's going on step by step, which his focus is on. But do you want to go ahead and bring those up, Dakota?
Mm-hmm. So we're going to have.
And check him out. Just Google his, I guarantee you, just Google his freaking office phone number in his district. If you live in his district, they'll get back to you.
They're great people.
They're
down
great.
there.
But this is what's going on right now.
And Chairman, thank you so much. My name is Morgan Lutrell. I'm from the 8th District of Texas, which is just above Houston. And my district is actually the landing zone for the flood of illegal immigrants coming across the border. Now, this border that we're pushing out and we're going to be voting on tomorrow is great. I'd like to thank Chairman Green for his hard work and the committee itself. It's a step in the right direction. In my district alone, the fentanyl deaths are categorically increasing every single year. That's a bad thing. We are seeing a surge of illegal immigrants landing in our district. We have a neighborhood in my district of 50,000 illegal immigrants. That has to stop. Tomorrow, when Title 42 ends, I'm talking with family members and friends that work in CBP, and they are extremely concerned because you have to realize there's been over 5 million illegal immigrants crossed this. That's more than the state of Louisiana and Mississippi's population combined. That's North Dakota, South Dakota, and Nebraska combined. We could create an entirely new state on just illegal immigrants that have come across over. That has to stop. It is cratering the infrastructure at our southern border. And this bill addresses that appropriately. And with that, I'll pass it off to Ms. Monica De La Cruz.
What the fuck? That was an interesting ending right there.
Yeah.
What the heck was that?
I don't know what Morgan searches on his Facebook page, but that's
not that.
It's not that.
Definitely not that.
I hope not.
Wow.
I think that's Marcus getting on his Facebook page. That's the best explanation.
Waka, waka, waka.
But he actually did vote on that, and here he is on the House floor. You want to pull that one up, Dakota?
Yeah, I have to bring it up again because, that happened.
That happened.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to find the page.
Okay, guys, and we're not fat shaming. Round is a shape too. Holy crap! I didn't expect to see
that was a lot of rounds.
That's exactly a lot of. Ow! Scroll up, babe. You passed it. Yeah, there it is. So he's pulling that up right now. But guys, give us let us know what you think in the comments on what you think Morgan Lutrell says. If you'd like us to ask a question at his next town hall, something that's near and dear to you, please let us know. Just make sure you keep it to 3 points because he doesn't have all the time. Here we go.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to speak in support of H.R. 2, the Secure Border Act. Now, America is facing a crisis on our northern, southern, and maritime borders. Our nation has witnessed a devastating effect of disastrous open border policies. To date, from the past 2 years, over 5 million people have come into this country. That is more than the Louisiana and Mississippi population combined. In my district, every day,
I have to face the families that have lost their babies from fentanyl. A few weeks ago in San Jacinto County, a known cartel member who was extradited who was taken out of the country ended up murdering 5 innocent people in one of my counties. Now, thankfully, local law enforcement, FBI, state troopers, and BORTAC caught that bastard. These are the problems that we should not have. Now, Mr. Speaker, we are criticized on this side of the aisle for our immigration policies, about DACA, where the funding's going. Well, I asked my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, you had 2 years to fix DACA. Where were you at? You had 2 years to fund our ports of entry. Where were you at? You sent money elsewhere. We are criticized about this bill, which is a step in the right direction, which starts to move and solve the problem. My colleagues on the other side, I ask you, where have you been? We showed up. We came here to Congress in order to fix this problem. We pushed this legislation across, and all you can do is criticize. That's unacceptable. With that, I yield back.
Say how it is, Morgan. And I've noticed that he's actually changing. I can see that. Like, tired of the bullshit. Just answer the fucking question. But he does it in a way, as an officer and a gentleman should. And we all know that.
And look, it didn't take him very long to realize that it was full of bullshit.
Oh no, he already is pushing for the impeachment of Mayorkas. Guys, just go in, check out again, I'm not going to show you everything on Morgan's social media page. But again, go in, check it out, update yourself, pay attention to what's going on. Don't take our word for it. Do your own fact, or do your own research. We do post articles on what we talk about every single week, or we show you the live videos so you can decide for yourself. And we just talk about it because I'm a woman and I like to fucking talk about it. And there's a problem when I shut the fuck up. That's about it. Believe me,
there is.
You need to worry about Kim when she goes silent.
Both of you.
That's probably true.
Don't you know, Dakota, that's a given. Anytime in a room, anywhere you are, and a Kim is silent, it's time for everyone to run.
Probably. Well, guys, that brings us to the end of our podcast. Thank you for joining us. Y'all have a great Mother's Day weekend. And if you're in Houston, stay dry, my friend. Take care and God bless everyone.
Y'all have a good one.
Y'all have a good one.
I have 2 shotguns in my home. They're locked in a safe. There's a metal gun case. We live in an area that's wooded, somewhat secluded. And I've said, Jill, if there's ever a problem, just walk out on the balcony and fire 2 blasts outside the house. Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun. You don't need a machine gun. You don't need 30 rounds. Buy a shotgun. Buy a double barrel shotgun.
No, you don't need a flamethrower, and you don't need a tank. You don't need an AR-15 to scare those thugs away. No, and I don't need a grenade launcher. I don't need an F-15. There's just one thing I need to do, and they'll stay away from me. Fire 2 blasts outside the house. Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun. Yeah, buy a shotgun, baby. You don't need a machine gun. You don't need a machine gun. You don't need 30 rounds. Buy shotguns. Buy a double barrel shotgun.